You're Caitlin, aren't you? Geoff's wife?
No, I'm not.
Huh?
Would you mind telling me who this is?
It's me, Miley.
Miley. I'm afraid that doesn't ring any bells, sweetie.
Oh, come on. Surely you have at least heard my name before. It's hardly common.
Miley Cyrus? No, sorry. I don't have any idea who you are.
Hey, don't get clever with me, smartass. How can you not know who I am? No way, that can't be. Geoff said he told you before you guys got married that his first wife's name was Miley.
Sorry, but you make less sense with every message. Firstly, my husband's name isn't Geoff. Secondly, me and my husband were high school sweethearts. He couldn't possibly have a history of divorce because I'm his first and only wife. Of that, I'm certain.
Oh, I know what's going on here. This is all a coping mechanism because you're in denial about the fact I stole your husband. Geoff slammed a set of divorce papers down in your face and demanded your signature, didn't he? Yep, that's right. I know everything.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know a Geoff, and I'm certainly not married to one. Won't you cut this out already? I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt because I thought this was just an innocent case of mistaken identity at first. But now, you're just annoying me.
Oh, won't you look at that? Geoff's back. Which can only mean he just got done handing in the divorce papers.
Seriously, what are you talking about? I neither know nor care what this Geoff of yours is doing. But I can tell you for sure that he's not my husband, and that my actual husband is currently out of state on a business trip. I don't know anything about divorce papers. I most certainly haven't had my signature demanded for any, and me and my husband have no intention of divorcing whatsoever.
Your pathetic resistance is in vain, lady. Quit burying your head in the sand already, cause it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. I don't get why you're so insistent on denying the divorce when you're the one who signed the papers to begin with. You can kick and scream and struggle as much as you want. But the fact of the matter is that Geoff's heart has wandered back to its rightful owner. Me. How about I tell you something for free, because I'm so kind? Listen up. It's important to know when to quit, darling. Sucks to be you, huh? You're nothing but used up goods now. Bye, you tragic loser. Me and my lovely Geoffykins are headed down to hand in our marriage registration first thing tomorrow morning. And there's no thing you can do to stop us. Hello, Caitlin. You should know that Geoff just submitted our marriage registration papers. I'm so happy to be back with my old husband now that he's rich. Thanks for agreeing to divorce him, loser.
Are you seriously messaging me with this nonsense again? And what do you mean, now that he's rich? My husband is just a regular old cubicle worker who occasionally gets flown out to do business meetings. He's certainly not rich by any standard.
Are you seriously still playing dumb? Stop it before my belly hurts from laughing again, Caitlin. Besides, what do you mean by my husband? I think you'll find Geoff is actually my husband now.
Like I told you a million times already. I have no idea who Geoff is, and he's not, nor was he ever my husband. That's not my husband's name.
Whatever. What do I care if you deny reality? Feel free to say whatever makes you feel better, darling. Me and Geoff rekindled our old flame and got remarried. And that's an undeniable fact. And guess what? Me and my big hunky stallion are going on our second honeymoon tomorrow. I should really start putting my suitcase together. I mustn't forget to pack my naughty bunny outfit and plenty of bottles of lube. See you later, loser.
Hey, Steve. Sorry to message you while you're away on your business trip. There's something I need to talk to you about urgently.
Caitlin, what is it?
Listen, I've been getting some super weird messages from some girl who seems to be trying to pick a fight with me over the last couple of days.
Trying to pick a fight with you?
She says her name is Miley, But not only do I not have the slightest idea who she is, she also seems to think I'm married to a guy called Geoff. Well, I guess he'd be my ex-husband now? Because apparently he divorced me to remarry Miley.
Whoa. What the... I have no idea how to even begin making sense of all that. So who exactly is Miley claiming to be?
She says she's Geoff's ex-wife and claims to have stolen him from me, his supposed second wife, by convincing him to divorce me. And then today, the two of them got remarried. I know it's complicated, and I don't expect you to fully understand because I don't either. But does that give you a rough gist of what's going on?
Well, so basically, this couple, Miley and Jeff, were once married, got a divorce, and now they're married again. After Jeff and Miley got divorced the first time round, he married another woman. And Miley is convinced that other woman is... you?
Yep, you summarized it perfectly. That's what seems to be going on.
Wait a sec. This is just a possibility, but... do you think there's any chance... well, do you think the Jeff she's talking about could be the Jeff we used to hang out with in college?
Huh? Since when did we hang out with a Geoff in college?
You know, tallest guy in the whole group. It was like Godzilla. Didn't you exchange numbers with him at one point?
Wait a sec. Do you mean... hang on. Was that guy's name Geoff?
Yeah. Yeah, you could be forgiven for not knowing it, though. I don't know why, but he has this weird complex about his name, so he had everyone call him Baxter, his surname. As a result, that's pretty much all he was ever known as. And there were quite a lot of people who ended up thinking Baxter was his first name.
Ah, that's it. I thought his name was Baxter, too. When we swapped numbers at the graduation ceremony, he put his name in my phone as Baxter. I had no idea he was really called Geoff all along.
I see. So is that what's going on here?
Is there a possibility it could be him? I would have never hit on this if not for you, Steve, but to be honest, it's the only explanation I can think of.
How about I try messaging him? I always did hang out with him more than you did back in college, so I guess he wouldn't find it that weird if I messaged him. He might have his guard up if you did it yourself.
Right, you're right. Would you mind, babe? Sorry to trouble you with this.
Sure thing. Oh, don't mention it. To be honest, I have an unusual amount of free time on my business trip this time around, so a good mystery to solve might have been just what I needed. I'll be in touch as soon as I know anything.
Thanks, babe. You're the best.
Hey, Caitlin. Sorry I kept you waiting. I'm on the train back home as we speak. I finally got a reply from Jeff.
What did he say? Did you find anything out?
You could say that. Your jaw's going to hit the floor when I tell you this. So, it turns out that Jeff was originally married to a woman named Miley at one point. But they ended up getting a divorce when he found out she was cheating on her with a local rapper called Tyrone. And he said he has zero intention of ever even speaking to her again, let alone patching things up or remarrying her.
Wow. Just wow.
He was astonished when I told him Miley had been messaging you. He theorized she could have gotten your number back when they were married when she was playing around with his phone. Apparently, she had a habit of doing that. He apologized profusely for getting you wrapped up in her crazy shenanigans. But then, he said something interesting. So get this. Apparently, the whole Miley problem will be solved the day after tomorrow.
What's that supposed to mean?
After divorcing Miley, Jeff started a company with one of his buddies from college. But according to him, ever since the company made it big time, and he became, in his own words, filthy rich, she's been following him around wherever he goes, like woman possessed. I don't know exactly what he plans on doing, but he said this whole problem will go away the day after tomorrow.
Wait a sec. The day after tomorrow? She said that's when the two of them are planning on going on their second honeymoon. Do you think that could have something to do with it?
I'm sorry, babe. I've got to get off the train in a sec, but I'll be home in just under 30 minutes. Let's continue this conversation then.
Got it. Be careful on the way back, sweetie.
Today's the day me and my Geoff leave for our second honeymoon. And guess where we're going? My dream holiday destination, Hawaii. It's almost time to leave the house, and I can barely contain myself. Sorry, darling. I know you're probably overwhelmed with uncontrollable feelings of soul-crushing jealousy right now. But let's face it, you were never going to be able to compete with someone as drop-dead gorgeous as me. Look how loved up we are. We're the perfect couple. It'll be better for your mental health if you just give up. Caitlin, what the heck is going on here? What did you do? You've got some explaining to do, woman.
Oh my god, that photo you sent earlier. I'm so sorry, but when I saw that picture of Geoff, I burst into a fit of hysterical laughter so intense, I accidentally dropped my phone.
What? Why? What's so damn funny?
That photo. It's from back when you guys got married the first time around 3 years ago, right? Me and my husband did a video call with Geoff this morning. He has a small tattoo on his arm now. Isn't it strange how there doesn't seem to be one in the photo?
Wait, what? A tattoo?
Yep. You know how in fashion they are these days. Apparently, he got the inspiration for it when he went to Japan last year and saw a bunch of Yakuza dudes covered in them from head to toe. But there was no tattoo anywhere to be seen in your photo. Be honest, Miley. This whole thing was nothing but a sad little scheme of yours from the get-go, wasn't it? What you're doing is so ridiculous and absurd that I suspect you may be mentally deranged and in need of actual professional help. I burst out laughing so hard when I saw that picture that I dropped my phone. Thankfully, it landed on a cushion, so it's not damaged or anything.
Hey, stop that! I know what you're doing. Don't try to change the subject. I just messaged Geoff to let him know I'd arrive at the airport and was super excited about our romantic honeymoon vacation to Hawaii. But he said he wasn't flying to Hawaii, but that he was going to Europe where his wife's waiting for him. What the hell is going on here? Nothing makes sense anymore. Did you guys secretly stay married when he told me you were divorcing?
How many times are you going to make me say it, Miley? Geoff is not my husband.
But Geoff himself told me, you moron, that his second wife's name was Caitlin.
Yeah, about that. You were being so terrifyingly persistent with your demands for Geoff to tell you a second wife's name that he deemed it dangerous for him to reveal any genuine information. So he decided to fool you with a fake name. The main character from a novel he happened to be reading at the time. But, in an unfortunate stroke of bad luck, that name happened to be exactly the same as mine, his old friend from college.
Huh? His old friend from college?
He only ever went by his surname back then, so I had no recollection of him ever being called Geoff. Which is why I didn't even realize it was him you were talking about until my husband, who went to the same college as we did, pointed out the possibility.
What? What? Wait. I need to read through your messages one more time.
Geoff's #1 priority is to protect his actual wife at all costs. Which is why, while dealing with you with a strategy of subtle evasion and avoidance, he decided to send her to their new house in Europe, a step ahead of him just to be safe.
Wait a sec. Hang on. There's something that doesn't make sense. What about the divorce papers and the marriage registration documents?
Since I haven't actually seen any of your private exchanges, or indeed the documents themselves, I can only comment based on what Geoff himself told me during our video call this morning. But regarding your divorce, he said that you did nothing but beg, plead, whine, and wail while clinging to him desperately for a second chance. As for the divorce papers, supposedly to divorce me, and the marriage registration papers, supposedly to remarry you, his guess is that you made a misunderstanding while you were out stalking him because you saw him near the county clerk's office when he was grocery shopping at the supermarket next door. As for the marriage registration papers you left in his mailbox, he shredded them immediately.
What? He put our marriage papers in the shredder?
Finally, Geoff's company recently placed him on a transfer to a certain country in Europe, which means he'll be moving there with his wife for the foreseeable future. But you, being completely deranged and in need of professional mental help, in a mental gymnastics performance worthy of the gold, interpreted him going to Europe as the two of you going on a honeymoon to Hawaii. He did tell you he was going to Europe, but you were so gleefully obsessed with the idea of your honeymoon that you kept insisting he cancel his flight and rebook for Hawaii. Eventually, he came to the realization that no matter what he told you, you'd interpret it through your own lens of fantasy and delusion. Correcting you rapidly came to feel boring and tedious. Your behavior was creeping him out so much that he sent his wife out a week earlier than planned, and he soon followed her after tying up a few loose ends here in Colorado. Ugh, that was a long one. Yep, that about wraps it up.
Wait, what's going on? Caitlin, please, what's happening here? Wait, no! Does this mean me and Geoff didn't really get remarried? And my precious darling Geoff isn't even in America anymore? He left me?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. I gotta say, Miley, I'm impressed you actually seem to understand this time. Anyway, are we done here?
What?
I was only ever Geoff's friend from college whose name, unfortunately, happened to overlap with the fake one he used to try and trick you. So I should never have been dragged into this whole mess to the absurd degree I was to begin with. And we sure as hell don't have anything else to discuss now. Oh, and before you ask, Geoff didn't tell me his new address in Europe. So even if you asked me for it, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Oh my god. No! This is bad. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad! You have to help me, Caitlin. I'm in debt. I have to make the next repayment by the end of this month or I'll be in serious trouble. You don't know who I'm dealing with, Caitlin. I swear, they're dangerous. They already threatened to hurt me. I'm so scared.
That's all very unfortunate. But you see, Miley, your screwed up life is not my problem.
What?
We're done here. Bye.
Oh my god. No!
It turned out Geoff was already aware of the debt Miley mentioned at the end there. Apparently, it came from the time a judge ordered that she pay damages after getting into a serious car accident while driving uninsured. Her savings didn't cover it, so she had no choice but to go into debt. Instead of actually working to pay it off herself, she decided to try and worm her way back into her ex-husband Geoff's good books, whom she discovered was now extremely wealthy after reading an article that featured him, called Up-and-Coming Hotshot CEOs in a magazine. As for what happened later on, Miley, who still hadn't given up on the idea of remarrying her old flame, showed up at his parents' place in a desperate bid to track him down after he left for Europe. She kicked down their front door and interrupted the residents' afternoon coffee when she barged her way into the living room and growled, "Give me Geoff's address. Help me win him back," in a deep, menacing tone while frothing at the mouth like a rabid dog. I say the residents because Geoff's parents had already moved out a long time ago. In a hilarious irony, Miley was ordered to pay damages yet again. And with that, her already absurdly high levels of debt inflated to levels previously unimaginable. My sources tell me she was last sighted being bundled into the trunk of a black car by a bunch of heavily tattooed bald guys in leather jackets.
Hey, are you Brian's wife? Because I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be taking care of him from now on. But you know that he's always such a wishy-washy guy, so I really hope that you don't blame him. Don't worry though, I'll make sure to make him very, very happy. Sorry, who am I speaking to right now? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, right, I should have introduced myself first. I'm Brian's ex-girlfriend, Miranda. I'm also the person who he's dated the longest out of all the other girls he's known. I'm sure you've heard about me already. Your name is Miranda. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I can't remember Brian ever mentioning knowing a girl like you. Wait, what? You mean that Brian hasn't even mentioned me once? Well, that's still no problem. Maybe he just didn't want you hearing about how close we were as a couple because he didn't want to make you jealous as his current girl. He was probably just hiding me from you because he knew that you didn't even compare. Okay, you seriously need to slow down and stop all of this nonsense. So, your name is Miranda and you're one of Brian's exes, right? Just why are you even reaching out to talk to me in the first place? Why? Well, there's not any particular reason, I guess. I just wanted to know about what kind of girl Brian got with after him and I broke up. He can really have a really interesting taste in women from time to time, so it's my job to make sure that he's making good choices. And you think that that's appropriate for you to do as his ex? I think most people don't do that to people they used to date. I don't remember you telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing, thank you. We might have been broken up, but we're still good friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm doing is being worried like any good friend would, and I can see that he's picked a very surprising girl to get married to. I thought he would have married someone beautiful, and I have to say that I'm just shocked. And just what is that supposed to mean? Well, I only mentioned because I think I left quite an impact on his taste from when we were dating. I just thought that he would have married someone strong-willed and clever. Someone special, you know. But I guess he just ended up with some totally basic chick. Funny how life works like that, right? Well, I guess that I'm sorry for not being the girl that you expected me to be, but you did just admit that Brian did marry me. So I might not know just how close you two were before, but all of that is in the past, and I hope that you realize all of that. Oh, wow, maybe you're a bit more impressive than I thought. It's almost cute. But I can tell just from this conversation that you're the type of woman who is always trying to solve your husband's problems for him, right? I really, really hate those kinds of girls. You need to be more kind to Brian, but let him spread out his wings on his own, you know? I don't need you telling me how I should be treating my husband, thank you very much. Well, fine. Then congrats on getting married or whatever. Save my number just in case you need a hand with anything in the future. For instance, if you two get into a fight, you can just come to me and I'll make Brian feel better afterwards. After all, I know him better than anyone. And that means that I know how to calm him down better than anyone, including you. Hey, Brian, are you there? I was just curious if you know a woman named Miranda. I think that maybe you two used to date each other.
Miranda? No, I'm sorry, Im, but I don't think I've ever dated a Miranda. Though now that I'm thinking about it, I do have an old friend named Miranda. But we never dated or anything. But what made you want to ask me this all of a sudden?
Well, I think this Miranda girl that you know actually just reached out and messaged me. And she introduced herself as your ex-girlfriend.
Wait, really? That Miranda sent you a message?
She said that she was your ex-girlfriend and she was worried about the kind of woman you were married to. And then she went on to say a bunch of other rude things as well. She seemed to really be concerned about how her ex was doing, and she kept talking about you as if she knew you really well. I don't know, I think she was trying to flex on me as your ex or something like that.
Wait just a second. So then, Miranda was really telling you that we used to date?
That's what I said, yes. But now you're telling me that you two never dated, so I don't know what to believe. I don't like whatever is going on, and I just want the truth, so be straight with me, Brian.
Emily, I'll promise you that I'm just as confused as you are. Besides, I was telling the truth when I said that we never ever dated.
You mean it? You two were never a thing at all?
Oh, we were classmates together from middle school on, and even were in the same after-school clubs too. So we did hang out a lot and spend a lot of time together. Though she was always acting more like a fussy mother than she was a friend, you know. She was always trying to do things for me and take care of me.
So then, it sounds like you two were actually quite close then.
Oh, we were. And I will say that other classmates would tease us and say that we looked like a couple, but I swear to you that we did not date. I'm not even sure that she looked at me as a potential person to date. I always felt like she saw me as more her kid or something like that.
And you don't know any of other Mirandas from your past that might be lurking around?
As far as I know, that's the only Miranda that I've known. But we both ended up going to different colleges and didn't really keep in touch after that. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever met another Miranda. But I guess she was trying to use our old friendship to try and get something out of you.
But why would she come to me with this when I don't even know who she is? I mean, I've never even seen a picture of this woman. I'll be honest, I was kinda scared.
I'm sorry, Emily. I wasn't trying to make light of this. It's just a bad joke.
Well, I hope you don't mind me asking, but I have to know for myself. You promised me that you and Miranda aren't talking at all right now? And you haven't seen her since finishing high school.
I swear to you, since we both left for college, I haven't spoken to Miranda at all. Wait, that's not entirely true. There was one school reunion for middle school, where her and I were both there, but so were all of our other classmates, and there was so much happening that day that we didn't even really get to talk.
Well then, just why is she coming out of nowhere to bother me? I don't like it. It doesn't feel right.
I agree. It sounds like she's up to something, and I don't like it. I think you and I'll have to just be a little more careful for the time being.
Hello there, Emily. It's been a while since we've last talked, right? How are you? It's me, by the way, Brian's ex, Miranda. Hello, Miranda. Yes, it's been a while since you and I last spoke, hasn't it? May I ask why you're messaging me today? Well, I actually have a really big announcement I just have to tell you. I feel so sorry for you, but I'm overjoyed because Brian and I have gotten back together. And that means that he doesn't need you anymore, so you can just get lost. Excuse me? What are you talking about this time? I mean that I want you to divorce Brian from me right now. After that, him and I can go out and get married. So I'll give you until the end of the day to get all the paperwork done. Are you kidding me right now? Did you really just message me to tell me to leave my husband? And do you really think I buy that you two have gone back together? Can you just leave me alone? I don't have time for this nonsense. Nonsense? And just what makes you think that any of this is nonsense? I know that it's tough to accept, but it's the truth, and you need to face it. Because I am telling you the truth. Brian and I have really gotten back together. Although I always knew that he always still had feelings for me, so I'm not surprised at all. But it was him who came to me asking if we could get back together. Are you serious? You're telling me Brian searched you to be out with you? Well, I'm sure you noticed that this is the first time we talked in a while, right? The reason for that is because after we talked the last time, Brian reached out to me and asked if I'd like to meet up with him. So we went out to a bar, just the two of us, had some drinks, and Brian used the liquid courage to confess his feelings for me. But again, I always knew that he'd never given up on me, so I knew it was a matter of time before this happened. I seriously doubt that Brian would ever go and do something like that. And I have no idea when he would have the time to sneak off to a bar to talk to you. Well, of course you wouldn't know about any of this, would you? I mean, do you really think that a husband would just tell his wife that he's going to go out and grab drinks with an ex? So then you're telling me that Brian kept all of that a secret from me and did actually go out to meet you? Not only that, but even though he has a wife, he still confessed having feelings for you. Yes, I'm afraid that you've described it exactly well. I tried to turn him down at first, but I didn't want to be a homewrecker or anything like that. I told him that he had to let go of a beautiful girl like me and just focus on his wife instead. But then he told me that he didn't care what happened to you. So when I realized that he wasn't going to be changing his mind, I had no choice but to get back together with him. Oh please, don't try to make it sound like you were forced into doing this. And know that I have no intention of hanging Brian over to you and all. Well, you say that, but Brian has already made the decision for himself. So I'm so sorry to ruin your marriage, but it's what Brian wants, and I don't think you have the right to deny him that. I seriously can't believe what I'm hearing right now. Well, it doesn't matter whether or not you do, because it's the truth and we're back together now. You're just in the way, so just get lost already. I just want you to know that Brian is here and is cracking up at all you're saying. What do you mean by that? I mean that Brian is laughing about you claiming that you and him got back together. His face is literally turning blue, he's laughing so much. Laughing at what? What are you even talking about? Brian is here with me right now. How can he be next to you? I'm sorry, but Brian is here with me, his wife. And we're actually on our honeymoon right now in Tahiti. What do you mean? I don't understand what's going on. It means that no matter how many times you tell me to leave Brian, it isn't going to happen. Anyways, we're going to be out of the country for a couple of weeks, so... So you two are really on your honeymoon right now. That's right, and Brian still hasn't stopped laughing at this business you just tried pulling. He remembered you well, but only as an old friend. Certainly not any kind of girlfriend. And the reason I knew you were lying about him meeting in a bar because he's sick after just getting a couple of drinks. Sure, we've had a few drinks here and there on vacation, but he would never drink to the point that he's saying things like what you said he did. Now, hold on just a second. This doesn't make any sense. How are you two going on your honeymoon when Brian has already taken me back? He's mine. He shouldn't be going on a honeymoon with you at all.
For the last time, Miranda, I'm not yours and we did not get back together. I don't know what fantasy world you've been living in, but you really need to wake up. But did you really think that I would ever want to get with a fussy woman like you? And some of the stuff you were saying was making me crack up so much that my stomach hurt. I mean, there was no way that you were being serious about that stuff, right?
How can you say something like that? I know that you're with your wife, so you have to be careful with what you say. But you confessed to me. You told me that you wanted to get together with me, and that's a fact.
Wait a second. What I told you was that I would always want to be your friend. You were the one who misconstrued that to mean that I wanted to date you.
You mean you just want to stay as friends?
But I don't get why you had to lie about you and I going out to get a drink. And yeah, I did reach out and invite you to a bar, but you left out the part where the rest of our middle school class was there. I invited everyone out to see if they'd want to catch up, but again, you totally warped what actually was happening.
No, this can't be happening.
And yeah, I had some drinks, but not many because I'm so weak. And because of that, I remember everything that happened that night. Though I will say that it was fun getting to hang out with everyone, and I was thinking about doing it more regularly. And yeah, we sat next to each other and talked, but I wasn't confessing my love to you.
But I could see the passion in your eyes. I could see all the memories we had come flooding back. That's when you knew that I was always the right girl for you. That's when you realized you were still madly in love with me.
No, not at all. How did you even get any of that out of what I was saying to you? I mean, we couldn't even get back together if I wanted to, because we were never even dating in the first place. I don't have any lingering feelings here, because they were never there in the first place. We never, ever had any sort of romantic connection. So I got no idea what you've been talking about.
No, that can't be true. You're lying, because you're with your wife.
I'm not at all. Even at the get-together, you were trying to tell me what to do, how to eat, to sit up straight. You were just acting like you used to, and all it did was get on my nerves.
But I was only doing all of that because we were dating, right? I mean, everyone in school said that we were like husband and a wife, remember?
That was just what dumb little kids say. I was never once under the impression that we were dating. I don't think I ever could date someone like you, to be honest.
But why not? I'm beautiful and loyal, and I'm always taking care of you.
That's just it. You think you're all those things, but I never saw what you were doing as helpful. I always thought that you were just being way too fussy. And I was prepared to maintain a friendship with you, but now I know that's going to be impossible. Now, as my wife explained to you, we're on our honeymoon and don't want any unnecessary distractions.
Don't think that you've beaten me yet, you ugly sow. I haven't even shown you what I can really do. I will make Brian mine, do you hear me? I know him better than anyone, and I will make him fall in love with me.
What are you even talking about this time, Miranda?
I mean that Brian said he was going to try and hang out with our old classmates. Well, I am going to be at every single one of those meetups, and I will steal your husband from you.
Well, yes, he did say that he was going to try and make everyone hang out more often, but those plans have fallen, though. I'm afraid that you won't have any more chances to go after Brian anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, the plans fell through because Brian knocked me up while on our honeymoon. I decided to stop drinking when I started feeling weird while we were there. And I took a test when we got back home and it was positive.
So you're pregnant with Brian's baby?
That's right, and we're both overjoyed. But Brian reached out to his classmate and told them that he wouldn't be going out drinking while I'm pregnant. But all of his friends were very, very understanding, and said that they can't wait till they can all hang out together another time.
But this isn't fair. Why do you get to start a family with Brian while I'm just here, single?
I don't know. That's probably something you should look inside yourself to find the answer to. Either do that or go talk to a therapist.
Ugh, I hate you. I never want to hear from you again. And I certainly never want to see you as long as I live.
Deal. That actually sounds great to me, actually. Anyways, on that note, have a nice life. After that, I never ever heard from Miranda again. Brian, on the other hand, would still get messages from her asking if he wanted to go out and grab drinks with her. But he always told her that he wanted to be by my side in case I needed anything and avoided it that way. Brian even told me that Miranda started reaching to the other classmates, asking if they wanted to go out for a drink together. I hear she's basically blacklisted from any get-togethers now. Brian insists that she's a good person deep down, but just has a lot of issue. Frankly, I'm surprised that his heart is big enough to keep defending her. Either way, I just hope that one day Miranda wakes up and realizes the error of her ways. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.